All right, good morning. Here's the morning I promised myself I'd get to. I have the coffee that I roasted right here. I'm going to give it a try on my clever dripper. And I have to get to work pretty quick. Bodhi Leaf, Honduras Organic Copan. So that's what I roasted. Bodhi Leaf, Bodhi. I have my excuse me, my Bonavita kettle right there. I should probably set my grinder to 55-ish. We'll do it at 55. I'll double check that, but I think that's safe. Let's give it a shot here. 55 grinder setting, safe for drip coffee. DF64 Gen 2. I think that's about right. Yes, it's setting at 55 on Turin. DF64 Gen 2 is generally safe and falls right into standard medium grind range, typically 40 to 70. Okay, we'll just try that. Let's get to weighing, brewing, and all that stuff. I have to kind of make this quick, guys. All right, we'll go ahead and maybe warm one of our cups because I had a little extra water in here. We're wasting good water though, maybe. We'll just put a little bit in there. I think we're going to make like a 12-ounce cup. We are going to brew like 12 ounce at about like 23 grams, I think, of this. 22 or 23? 23. All right, let's get to that next. All right. I think you should be able to see what I'm doing here. There's my scale. Could probably have the light turned up a little bit. How's that? Sorry guys, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. All right. This is the Honduras blend. We're going to go for 23. 23. Now, I would try espresso and then make an Americano, but I think it needs more days to rest. However, it's duly noted that this takes to do it in this type of fashion as a drip coffee seems to take a lot more coffee beans. 23. So I'm going to probably, I can't promise anything. This isn't really what it is. I just used the bag because it has the filter, or what do you call it? I forget what you call it. It's like a gas release thing. Okay. Well, we're going to probably want to maybe get the filter a little wet here. Actually, just to conserve the water we have, I think we're going to use it this way because I don't have a lot of water in there. I use mostly Crystal Geyser water. Okay. It's mostly Crystal Geyser. And we should probably keep our water up to temp in there. So we got 23 grams. And we have our dosing funnel over here, which we normally don't even use. Or dosing cup, rather. Or dosing cup. We're at the 55. Should have pretty much right on with that. 55. Okay. Our Bonavita kettle's at 199, but it went to 200. But I think I set it at 199. Okay. Does this scale work okay if you have a completely covered like that? I'm hoping that's going to be okay. Let me grab another scale just to be safe, because I'm not sure how much of this. It should be fine, but I feel a little better about using this scale, I guess, because I just do. Okay. We'll have to do some research. Would that have worked? Anyway, we're going to go at units of ounces. We're at 198 now. So, okay, let's go ahead and 23.2 grams it says. We're going to tear that out. Okay. I guess we could put, I think it does say 199 now. 198. That's pretty good. 198. We'll set our timer. Okay, we're going to let it bloom for, 40 seconds, 45 seconds or something like that. I guess we'll put this back on. Let's see if I'm in the frame good enough here. All right. All right. That should be good enough bloom time. It's a little under a minute. I guess we're going for, I forgot, I don't remember if I teared it out after I added the coffee. Probably not. I guess we're not, kind of maybe lost that point of accuracy, but it's fine. We'll go like 12.37 ounces there. Okay, 12.5. We'll go 12.5. 12.5 ounces. And we'll reset the timer. I don't know how to do it. My bad. So, okay, I just did it. We're gonna probably do this for about 3 minutes. And really, I should have my lid for that, right? I can quick get that. All right. There's my fancy spoon. Didn't come super prepared. In fact, I had to go to Hy-Vee to get my cream because I was out of that. Anyway, I wanted my video done this morning, but I knew I'm kind of pushing up against time. In fact, we're probably going to call it good at 2.5 minutes, because I was messing around with this timer anyway. It's probably more like 3 minutes, plus the time I took to pour that in there. Okay, it's at 2:06. We're gonna maybe give it a couple really brief stirs here, not much. You don't want to agitate it too much, I've been told. All right, so this water's kind of been warming that particular cup. Okay, give it a little more time. Man, that fresh cream, guys, fresh cream. Okay. 2:47, we're at a good time. So we're gonna go ahead. I wanna make sure this is in the frame. Put the scale over there. Here we go, moment of truth. Hope I got all this. We'll back it up maybe a little bit. I don't even know if that's a 12-ounce cup. I thought it was. Sorry guys, I taste my coffee with cream. I will try it black first. So yeah, I've roasted this on, I think it was Friday, around 7 o'clock-ish. And now it's Tuesday, 6:37 in the morning, and I gotta leave real quick. I may literally take this on the road with me as I head out the door. Whether or not that was the right grind size, better turn off our Bonavita kettle. I was trying to keep temp. That's not a good thing. Here, we're gonna go ahead, put the rest. It's kind of slow dripping out of there, but it's mostly has dripped out, so we're good. Oh yeah, don't add cream yet. We gotta taste this the way it is. We might give it one stir there. Moment of truth. You may want to see me on camera drinking this. My first impression so far is that that was actually pretty good. Okay. Guys, we got to get a roll on here pretty quick. We got to head out the door. Let's give this a taste. I should be focusing on my face. What is going on with this camera? All right. I think I'm too bright for one thing. Okay. All right. I don't normally drink my coffee black, but sometimes I do, especially at work, if I have just to bring, I hate to say it, a Keurig pod. Hopefully a do-it-yourself one, right? I'd say that's good. I'm still crooked on the tripod, but that's okay. I'm gonna probably have to take this to go. See what it tastes like. Even though it's not a dark roast, it has characteristics of a dark roast. There's no scorchiness, but I'm kind of glad in a way, but not super dark. So it's like medium roast, I think. I think I had 13.3% weight loss, maybe more like 13.27 or something. Guys, it's good, and I got to head out the door and get to work. Sorry this video was just kind of haphazardly thrown together, but I wanted to see what my coffee tasted like this morning. That's about the best chance I got. So I'm going to pack my lunch real quick, throw something in my lunch bag, get out the door. Probably take this coffee with me as I'm driving. Yum, that is actually good. It's just like your normal good coffee. It's definitely better than like if you got any particular brand name. I don't want to kick anything on the bus, but a really well-branded, more consumer type coffee or commodity type coffee, definitely better than that. It's better than your commodity coffee. Does it equal like your local cafe? I'm not sure. Maybe. Depends on what you're after. I think it needs more time to develop, but it's definitely there. It's definitely there. All right, guys, it's probably one of the better just normal roasts I've done. I don't taste anything that stands out. I can't say it's fruity or anything like that. It's just like pretty well-rounded actually, and just your typical but good, delicious cup of coffee. Trust me, guys, I've had bad coffee I've roasted myself, and I would say something if that were the case. If someone gave this to me at a restaurant, I would think it would be good. I actually would think it would be 1 or 2 cuts above what they normally would serve, yeah. But I better get going, guys. I got only 17 minutes to get to work. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Good coffee, though. All right, so I'm back from work, and I thought I'd better tag on something after the end of my video. A little confession. The coffee is very good. I don't really detect any bitterness or anything like that. Now, knowing, I preface the word average here, but I preface that by saying coffee done even mediocrely correct is anything but an average experience. It's an awesome, extraordinary experience, and you have it every day. But it reminded me of donut shop coffee. Let's cut to the chase. It reminded me of donut shop coffee in that it's not really maybe something you'd have in like your local specialty coffee shop. I don't think I was expecting that anyway, especially in my first roast. I think it reminded me of maybe both the bean and the way I roasted, and just everything about it was like safe. It was safe. There's like really not much risk involved. So it tasted extraordinarily, it tasted extraordinarily average in a kind of a philosophical sense that coffee is anything but average. But if I could sum together all my experiences with coffee tasting, now what do I mean by that? Does that just mean like your commodity coffee? No. But I've had that too. Like where I used to work years ago, they'd have one of the probably most famous commodity coffees you can think of, and I don't think I want to mention the name, but there's mainly 2 that people can immediately think of, right? Well, they had maybe even the more famous of those 2. I'm not sure which one's more famous. And at one time I thought that was good, and then actually I think for a little bit I might have been going for that brand. Of course, coffee grew on me, and so yes, it kind of, if I was to limit it to just comparing it to those commodity coffees, like the kind that you might get at Sam's Club or something, I think it did blow that out of the water. But if you'd average it with all my experiences from commodity coffees to donut shop coffee to maybe like specialty coffee, or then there's specialty coffee that you take home and make yourself too, like you buy the bag from your local roastery. Then there is a kind you buy online. Those can vary greatly. I guess it was kind of within a donut shop coffee, pretty close. So it didn't really have a lot of, I almost want to say it didn't have nuance, but it did. I think it had some nuance, but it was kind of like muted nuance. Because I think a lot of the nuances that maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, maybe I don't, but a lot of those nuances that we think of with specialty coffee is maybe because it's roasted a little bit lighter. And so you get some of those fruity notes and some sort of ambience or nuance like that. So I felt like it was kind of in between two worlds. Like I chose like the safest roast I could, and maybe I struck a delicate balance. It wasn't a light roast because it went too far beyond that, but I don't think it was a dark roast either. So it was kind of like, I would compare it to maybe like chocolate covered fruit. If there was any fruitiness too, it was kind of muted a little bit by the fact that it was a little too dark for that. But it wasn't quite dark enough to be a dark roast, and it wasn't light enough to be a light roast either. If it had to fit between one or the other, it would have to, maybe I'd call it dark. But we're going to call it a medium because I think it truly does fit within that realm. Being kind of stuck in the middle between two worlds, as it were, at medium roast level. Now, I'm not sure what decision I'm going to make on my next roast. Keep it exactly the same, go lighter, go darker. Honestly, right now, I'm kind of liking a dark roast, which is ironic for me to say because for many years, I always just chose either a medium or a light, oftentimes a light roast, from my local specialty coffee shop, right? I'm not sure what direction, though, 100% I'll go next time. But that's my 2 cents, a little more thought out, that it was kind of smack dab in the middle of between two worlds. It wasn't really light, it wasn't really dark. It was kind of safe. It was in that safe zone. No matter what, it was going to be kind of your typical cup of coffee. If I could say anything, maybe it had kind of like that roasted flavor kind of maybe stuck out just a tad. Like, this definitely tastes like what you would expect roast it yourself coffee to taste like. But I'm glad, if I'm proud of anything, it's that I at least accomplished a good tasting cup of coffee. Now, would some more flavors develop upon letting it rest some more, which I probably will? Probably. I would say maybe it has a chance to develop maybe a little more complexity. Not that it was simple, but it wasn't like full of all the nuances, because some of those are muted out. I think it roasted a little beyond some of those nuances, but even according to what was written on the bag, it said the recommendation for that wasn't really a light roast anyway. I think it was full city or full city plus or something like that. I don't think any of those fall into a light. Anyway, I'm still pretty new to this, so I don't know truly what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to. So it was good. I'm not going to probably drink another this late in the day. I did read a review, and someone noted that it might, and this could be inaccurate information, it might have more caffeine content. I'll have to look that up to see if that's true. So this is your Honduras, I think is what it was. I don't remember for sure. Look on my phone. I have all the notes on my phone here. Bodhi Leaf. Is it Bodhi? I think it's just Bodhi Leaf. Honduras, yes. Organic Copan. So yeah, tasting notes: milk chocolate, brown sugar, macadamia nut, raisin. I think that's about right. If there was any sweetness, it would be like a muted. You know, it's not grape, so it's kind of dried out raisins. I'd maybe agree with the raisin, and maybe it's a little nutty too, with some sweetness possibly. So yeah, I can agree with that. Brown sugar, yeah, I can kind of see that. But I'm kind of influenced by what I read there, what the tasting notes were. But we'll see in the next one. I probably will try it as an espresso, but that won't probably be right away. We'll probably let it rest a little more for that. See you in the next one.